Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk about Mitch McConnell. Now, I talked about him yesterday, but I did not show you the actual video. So I want to show you the video. I'm going to show you certain clips. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because he does talk about different topics. But for the most part, he's talking about this infrastructure bill and how to move forward. That's what we're going to do right now. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so if you didn't catch that video that I posted yesterday, I'll post a link at the end of this video so you can check that out. But I want you to hear Mitch McConnell's strategy for this infrastructure bill. Here we go.
And Nick have said underscores what I'm hearing all over the state in meetings similar to this. The two biggest problems we have post-pandemic are workforce issues, getting people back to work, and there's no question that we'd be in better shape if the.
Now, I should say he is talking in Kentucky, so some of this is targeted to his state.
Governor had made a decision to discontinue the federal bonus, as 25 other states have. And it's interesting to note that every state around us, except for Illinois, has discontinued the federal bonus. I was on a conference call with a particular group of.
Now, he's calling this the federal bonus. This is the enhanced unemployment, the $300 additional per week. That's what he's talking about the states refusing to accept the $300.
Companies, some in Kentucky and some in Indiana, and they reported that when the Indiana governor discontinued the extra $300 a week bonus, the next day they got 200 applications, job applications. So there's no question that is creating a big challenge for Kentucky businesses post-pandemic. Secondly, inflation is raging. And I want to give Larry Summers, who was Bill Clinton's Secretary of the Treasury and Barack Obama's chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, kudos for predicting this. He said in February, when the new rescue package was completed with not a single Republican vote in the House or Senate, that we were flooding the economy with such a significant amount of money that he predicted we'd have raging inflation, and that is in fact what we're grappling with today.
Now, you'll always hear Republicans, especially the leader here, talking about inflation, okay, because that's the only thing they can say when it comes to the stimulus package that none of them voted for, because that stimulus package did help businesses, it helped people, it had enhanced unemployment in there. So all of this stuff, he's going to target the weaknesses. Oh, inflation. So that's going to be our talking point. But the reality is, if we are in a situation where we have this inflation, then that's when you should really be looking at some of the social programs like Social Security, SSI, SSDI, because those people are on fixed income. So if we have this hyperinflation, it's going to affect them a lot. So that's something that he should be bringing up as well. But obviously, he's not talking about that. He's just going to talk about, okay, look what the Democrats did. Now we have this hyperinflation. What are we going to do? We can't spend more money and all this. So that's just a talking point at this point.
Let me also address the status of the infrastructure discussions that I know you're interested in. That's ongoing. First, let me say there is bipartisan support for a significant infrastructure package. There was during the Obama administration. There was during the previous administration. It's been challenging to figure out exactly how we can pay for it in a way that's comforting to both sides. As you know, we have a 50-50 Senate, a narrow Democratic majority in the House. The American people did not give either side a mandate, and so it's not surprising. It is challenging to work these things out.
Okay, now it's interesting he said that, right? We're at 50-50 when it comes to the Senate. The American people did not give a mandate. No, the American people did give a mandate, because if the American people didn't give a mandate, then he would still be the majority leader. They said, Mitch McConnell, we don't want you to lead the Senate anymore. and that was the mandate. And so the Georgia race, the two senators that won, the two Democrats, that switched the power in the Senate. So that is a mandate. He can say 50-50, but guess what? Democrats are in charge of the Senate, and that's different than it was a few months ago, right?
Having said that, even though it rarely, I'm not being critical of you guys, but it rarely makes news, we have passed 7 major bipartisan bills this year. We find that when we do that together, it doesn't make much news. So there are things that we can agree on. But we've had some big differences this year about what the country needs at this particular stage post-pandemic. And the first big disagreement was the American Rescue Package, another $2 trillion added to the national debt just a couple of months ago. And now we're confronted with an administration that would like to spend $5 trillion more on top of the $2 trillion. This $7 trillion would amount to roughly what we spent to win World War II, authorized in 1 year. We think that is wildly out of proportion to what the country needs. But a portion of it, is something the country clearly needs if we can figure a way to pay for it. And so you've watched these ongoing discussions. 10 of my members have been keeping me posted, and I've encouraged them to try to see if we could get an outcome. They've been working with 10 Democratic senators. As you saw last week, they went down to see the president, and there was no discussion of any linkage between infrastructure and the subsequent reconciliation package that the administration has in mind. In other words, they were discussed separately. The president walked out with the 20 bipartisan senators, announced they had an agreement, and a couple of hours later said that if he got infrastructure without the second bill, he'd veto it. Then he walked that back. So let me just tell you where I think we are.
Now, I think he's wrong on those numbers when it comes to, he's talking about 20 bipartisan senators. It was five Democrats, 5 Republicans, a total of 10 bipartisan senators that were working on this bill, and that came out with the president when he talked about the reaching that deal on Friday. So I think he has the numbers wrong. Now, I do know that there were a total of 21 senators that were open to this bipartisan proposal, but as far as the negotiating, there was 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I appreciate the president saying that he's willing to deal with infrastructure separately, but he doesn't control the Congress, and the Speaker and the Majority Leader of the Senate will determine the order. And so what I did this morning is to call on the president to ask the Majority Leader and the Speaker to deal with these issues separately, to deal with them separately. That's the way the deal was negotiated according to the 10 Republicans, I can assure you, who were in the discussion. There was no agreement that they would be linked. And so the president's promise to deal with it separately is nice, but isn't determinative unless the Majority Leader and the Speaker agree.
Okay, now, Mitch McConnell, he is the minority leader. Okay, now he was not in on these negotiations, not at all. He had an opportunity to be there, but he wasn't there as a minority leader. And now he's saying to the president, this is the way that I want you to handle it. Make these separate. Don't run them together. But he had that opportunity, and this is one of the problems that I've had, and I've had this problem even last year when we were talking about the stimulus packages and moving forward with those. You have Mitch McConnell choosing not to be in the room negotiating, and then after the fact saying this is what he wants, putting out demands after the fact when he could have been in that room. He could have made this clear prior to all of this stuff coming out, prior to President Biden coming out and saying what he said as far as is wanting to have them run as a tandem, and then backing away from that and saying, well, no, they'll be separate. Mitch McConnell could have been there. He had every right to be there as the minority leader, but he chose not to, and now he's coming out and making demands. Okay, so he talked about a few other things, but I just want to end it there. I don't want to make this video too long, but you heard Mitch McConnell. You heard the senator there just talking about, and at this point, I truly believe that all he's doing right now, he's stalling. He's trying to come up with anything that he can just to keep this infrastructure bill from moving forward. This infrastructure bill, as well as the American Families Plan, because he knows what's coming up. He knows that they're going to be talking about the budget in September. So if they can't get this done in the next couple of months, then we're looking at a situation where it might not get done. And if it doesn't get done, this is more ammo that Senator McConnell will have to go after Democrats, because believe me, he wants to get that leadership back. He wants to be the majority leader again. And the only way that can happen is if they win seats in 2022. And so in order for them to win seats, they're going to have to cause some disruption. And I think that's what he wants to do right now. So he's going to, like I said, he could be talking to the Speaker of the House and the majority leader right now. He could be talking to them, but instead he's just throwing out things saying President Biden needs to talk to them and all this. However, Mitch McConnell has every right to talk to them, and he has leverage. He has leverage because he is the minority leader. So he can talk to those senators, those Republican senators, the bipartisan group. He can say, look, we're not going to move forward. We're not going to vote on this if they don't agree on this. But it doesn't have to go through the president. It can go straight to the other lawmakers. So I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.